Hi everyone, I'm David Aragona. I'm going to be taking an in-depth look at my TimeformUS Highlight Horse on Friday at Aqueduct. Every week we're doing a new promotion on DRF Bets where you can bet my Friday Highlight Horse as a risk-free bet. Just bet $7 to win, and if the horse loses, you'll get your $7 back. Hopefully the horse wins, of course, but if the horse loses, you'll get your money back. You just have to place the bet through the new DRF bet site at bets.drf.com, the DRF iPhone app, or through the DRF Classic PP wager pad. So any of those places, just place $7 to win on my Highlight Horse, which this week is the number 2, Shimmering Moon, in Friday's 5th race at Aqueduct, and you're not taking on any risk. Taking a look at the field for the Friday's 5th race, it's a small field, just 5 horses. The horse to beat is the number 5, Leah's Dream, who I made the 6-5 favorite on the morning line. She's likely a jockey for favoritism with the number 3, Let Me Take This Call, who I've got at 9-5. Both of these horses are coming off wins, and I think they will take in most of the public support. And before we get to these contenders, I think you do want to be aware of the likely pace of this race. And we'll take a look at the TimeformUS pace projector, because one of the reasons that Leah's Dream is the horse to beat is she just figures to have a significant pace advantage over this field. You see that blue color-coded bar indicating that this race is going to favor horses on or near the lead. And just looking at Leah's Dream, she's a confirmed front runner who's a real need-the-lead type, and she is just faster than these horses in the early going. So in all likelihood, she is going to go into the far turn with a clear lead in this race and have a significant advantage. Taking a look at Leah's Dream's recent past performances, she's run very well recently, and she's coming into this race in top form. She's won 8 races in her career, which is more than you can say about a lot of the horses in this field. She just is a horse that likes to find the winner's circle and is usually very dangerous in these types of situations. But I think that she's going to be a bit of an underlay in this race because her last race is not quite as good as it seems. Over on the left-hand side of the past performances, you see that red color-coded race rating box, and that indicates that February 8th at Aqueduct was a day that was strongly featuring horses that had the early lead. It was just a very speed-favoring track. You often see that with sloppy or muddy surfaces, track biases pop up, and February 8th was one of those days. It was also in the midst of a period of time at Aqueduct where the rail was the place to be. And I think just the combination of having the rail be good and having the track be wet and favoring speed, it just really made Leah's Dream unbeatable that day. And you see she earned that 107 TimeformUS speed figure, which is the highest number that she's earned in quite some time. But I think that number is a little bit phony because of all the help she had given the circumstances. And I'm not going to be surprised if she reverts to a number like the one she ran 2 back when she earned that 99 over a fast track at Aqueduct. Some of her prior numbers also dip into the triple digits, but those are mostly at Finger Lakes, and I'm just not quite sure that she's really as formidable as she seems over a fast track racing at Aqueduct. I'm definitely using her. I acknowledge in some ways she's the most likely winner of this race, but at a very short price, I want to take a bit of a shot against her. The horse that many will use as the primary alternative is the number 3, Let Me Take This Call. And she also is coming off of a win in a claiming race. She was making her second start off the layoff on February 10th, and that was just 2 days after that February 8th card that I mentioned was favoring speed. February 10th was a day where speed wasn't so much an advantage, but the rail was where you needed to be. And Let Me Take This Call was on the rail for a portion of the race, but she had a more eventful trip than that because coming out of the gate, she just was acting up badly, and she ended up breaking about 3 lengths behind the field, so she really had to rush up into position in the early going. She was on the rail briefly thereafter, but she tipped out at the top of the stretch and rallied past the leaders on the outside. All things considered, it was a good performance from Let Me Take This Call. The problem is I think it came against a field of suspect quality, and some of the top contenders in that race were way against the track, even more so than Let Me Take This Call. So I'm not sure how strong that win really was from a quality perspective, but she's in Rudy Rodriguez's barn. She's got leading rider Manny Franco. She's moving in the right direction in terms of form, so I'm not going to be surprised if she takes another step forward. I think she's dangerous, but as the co-favorite or close second choice, I'm not sure that she offers a ton of value either. The horse that I'm interested in this race, and the one that is my highlight horse, is the number 2, Shimmering Moon. And I just think she's a horse that deserves a pass for her last race for a couple of reasons. That was February 9th, the same weekend that we keep talking about. The rail was where you had to be. Arguably, February 9th was the day that was the strongest bias of all. And Shimmering Moon just got the wrong trip over that track. She broke a little bit slowly and just couldn't get to the front that day and had to chase wide the entire way. She was 3 to 4 wide on the turn. She was floated even wider in the stretch. And just looking at the results of that race and how horses have come back, it illustrates how strong the rail was that day, because a very consistent horse was one of the choices in that race. Fair Regis ended up finishing a distant fifth in that race. She could not put forth her typical good effort. And the third and fourth place finishers, who finished very close together, came back and ran in the same race last Sunday at Aqueduct. Summer Punch, who was against the track, came back and won that race, and the fourth place finisher came back and finished eighth. So it really indicates how much the rail was affecting the performances on February 9th. So I'm just kind of drawing a line through that race for Shimmering Moon. Her prior efforts are good enough to put her right in line with those numbers in the high 90s that Let Me Take This Call and Leah's Dream are capable of running. And she's one of the horses in this race, one of the few horses, who has the speed to stick relatively close to Leah's Dream in the early going. So I'm hoping that Jose Lezcano is a little bit aggressive out of the gate, can get her into a position that's up close to the pace, and I'm hoping that she just proves to be a little bit faster than Leah's Dream in the lane, because Shimmering Moon does have back form that makes her a better horse than Leah's Dream. I just think she's the class of this race. So I'm taking a shot with Shimmering Moon. I made her 7-2 on the line. I'm hoping to get at least 3-1 on her. I'm hoping the other two take a little bit more money, but even if price is low as 5-2, 3-1 is probably fair enough on this TimeformUS Highlight Horse. So don't forget about the risk-free bet. That's $7 to win on Shimmering Moon, and you can get your money back if the horse loses. See you next week, guys.